The main changes to the SCHADS Award are still really yet to be known. The Fair Work Commission is currently looking at both the SCHADS Award, but also other awards which are traditionally dominated by female workforce. And the reason they're doing that is there's been what's called a bias or a gender bias in those awards, where the female workforce has been undervalued comparative to others. And so there's a review of a number of awards going on, but the SCHADS Award is one that is far-reaching, and therefore that's the topic of what we're talking about today. The SCHADS Award changes haven't yet been announced by the Fair Work Commission, but we're expecting to see them have a formal hearing in the 25th of October, where they'll announce both the structural change, but also the expected wage increases that will accompany that change. So it's at that point that we'll know when the future changes and how far out those expected wage increases will transition over. Now, there's two key changes that we expect to see. The first one is the structure of the award. So Fair Work Commission has said they'd like to simplify that award. The second part is the catch up in the wage rates that have been perhaps undervalued but previously because of the gender bias we talked about. We expect to see them implement a series of wage increases. Now, the time frame that will be spread over is yet to be determined, but we'd expect it to be a number of years, although the pressure will come from the unions, for example, for those increases to be front-ended as much as possible to catch up for what's considered to be a deficit. Your organisation really needs to think about those changes from both a strategic point of view as well as a future financial point of view. So first of all, preparing for a restructured award, which may be effective as early as 1 July 26. So having in place processes to ensure you can review that award and implement those changes from an HR perspective. Secondly, as we understand what those levels of increases in wage rates will be, understanding your impact on your future cash flows, also your ability to continue to operate certain parts, divisions, or other activities in a sustainable manner, for some organisations will be really challenging. The changes will impact certain organisations differently. If, for example, you're a disability services organisation, it's likely that your revenue will increase at a similar rate to the cost increases of wages under the SCHADS Award. And that's because the NDIS price guide sets prices based on a cost structure. Alternatively, if you're an organisation that's relying on grant funding or donations, it may be that your future levels of revenue actually don't increase to the same extent as your costs will under the increases in the SCHADS Award. If you're in that second bucket of organisations, you need to think strategically about how can you manage your costs. Do you need to restructure your organisation to ensure that you can actually continue to operate and deliver your activities that you're funded for in a way that's sustainable in the future?